Hi, Wang Hao and Alida, can you guys hear?
Good morning, yes.
Yeah, good morning. All right, so thanks so much for coming up. All right, and thanks to Wen Hao as well. Okay, so Alida, you've met Wen Hao, I think last week, right? Once?
Not officially, but yes.
Okay, all right. So Wen Hao is a developer who works at my company, now doing part-time some development work. And I just invited him to join, a few weeks ago to help with the prototyping. All right, okay, so Victory, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right,
good morning,
great.
everyone. How are
Wen
you?
Hao is joining us for today.
Hi, Wen Hao.
Hi.
Yeah, Wen Hao is thinking about enhancing his English. So I invited him to join this All English, Syncam project.
Okay.
And he's going to take
Nice.
some exam in the near future to,
Yes.
sort of language tests. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So maybe Victor, you can start.
Yes. Hi, everyone.
Go ahead.
Hi, Alida. Hello, Professor Herman.
Hello.
I'm just gonna share my screen. All right. Okay, it's a full house. I'm thinking maybe we should probably start from Wen Hao.
Hi.
Hi. From what we gathered, you were working on the finalized version. I mean, so we're trying to finish up the app. But I think yesterday when we checked it out, sorry, just hold on. Let me look for the link. The friend list, we couldn't find the friend list. I don't know if Shenyun told you about that.
I think I have correct issue. It's because the data format, the original one and the finalized one are different.
Oh, okay.
So can you try?
Yeah, maybe we can all try it.
So we can just try to log in.
Also,
there.
Okay, sharing the chat.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I can open my open my browser and we can check.
Okay, please. Let me just stop sharing.
So I shared the URL at the chat room. So Herman and Alida, you can also check it out if you like.
Yeah.
I'm coming. That one. Friend list. We can list neighbors here. Okay. They are neighbors. There's a fake user. Victory is here.
Oh, I see.
Some name I can't pronounce, and Wen Hao.
I see everyone. Yeah.
Hi, Victor. Can you see my message?
No.
Do you how can
okay.
Do you
see Professor Herman's name now.
Okay.
Let me open yours. Sorry.
Also, you
I went back.
This version of chat feature, we can only chat to one person, and if you leave the page, the data will delete it, not restore in the in the file store. So
okay. It's sent once, right?
It's only sent once and not store.
That's fine.
It's not persistent, in other words, but that's fine. No.
Okay. Oh, nice. I just sent a hi message to someone. I'm not.
I sent a hi to Victory. Did you get it?
I didn't get it. No.
Oh.
I'm gonna send. The thing is, I didn't open it, but I just sent one now to you.
If if you want to chat to another person, both of you need to open the chat app at the same time. Otherwise, you can see the message.
Okay.
Oh, I see, I see. So Wenhao, you're saying that we have to both be chatting to each other, right? In order to
Yes.
see it.
Because
Okay.
the chat mechanism we need to update when you open the new open the chat page. It will
Mhm.
update the channel.
Okay, okay, I see. All right. So who would like to chat? Herman?
I've just sent a message to you.
Oh, really? Okay, all right. So
I think so.
can you try it again? Because I just initiated a message with you.
Let's see. I've sent
Right.
another one. Did you get something?
Hmm. Okay, I am in the chat room with Herman, but I think I haven't received any. I have sent
Messages.
2 messages to Herman now.
Yeah. I'm also in chat with you. But I'm not seeing any messages at the moment.
Okay,
I sent-
or maybe Wenhao, you can you show your screen? Maybe share your screen and demo it with Victory, perhaps, to see how it works.
Okay.
Because I have, okay, all right, I see the screen now.
So
So you should start chat with Victory,
yeah,
right?
chat with Victor. Victor, please open the chat with me.
Okay, so Victor, you should also
Okay.
open with Wenhao, right?
Yeah.
And can you send something for me?
I think I just sent one. I don't know if I'm sending it to the right person. It's the one with the Chinese encoding.
This one.
That's
This one
you.
is me.
Yes, that's you. Yes. I just sent now. I'm not receiving anything.
Okay. So so Wenhao, right now looks like some debugging is needed, right?
Yeah, yes. I don't know why I cannot get a
Okay.
token
Okay.
from
All right.
Victory. So
Yeah.
Victor, do you open this page?
Yes, yes. I'm on this page now. I've sent like 3
Oh.
messages.
So
Okay. All right.
Means
So probably Wenhao, I think we can maybe we can do this after, you know,
okay.
try to debug what might be the issue. I think probably 2 accounts or separate accounts are needed, right? To experiment and potentially on different hosts. And if you, I think if you need help on this or see if we can find someone to test with you. All right.
Yes, we can debug later.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Probably. All right. Thanks. But still, thanks. I mean, this is great.
thanks.
Yeah.
We have a
Shinyan.
a basic interface, right?
Yeah.
That's basically a working prototype. I mean a prototype that can be used for chat, direct chat. All right. So Victoria,
Thanks,
maybe you
Wenhao.
can continue with the
All
scene.
right. Just gonna share my screen. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Yeah, okay. Fine, thanks. All right. Yeah, I sent all of that. All right. I also know with Ali there were a couple of things from last week with regards to the testing of the PubSub implementation on the JavaScript code base. I don't know if you were able to like have make some progress on that front.
Morning. So yes, I have made some progress on that. I'm having a meeting this afternoon with Parman about that as well. But my week really only starts on Wednesdays when it comes to this. So
okay.
It's not that and it's not that new from what we discussed last week.
Okay. That's fine. Professor Herman talked about fast implementation on Raspberry Pi. I think the student.
Yeah, so I spoke to the student yesterday. So one thing, so he's got the student has, he's used Vonpeer as a basis, and then he's managed to set up 2 matchers, and then the matchers can basically send message to itself, and he's managed to have. Yeah, I think if you've got clients connected to the same matcher, then the subscription and the publication is working correctly, but he hasn't done the publication and subscription forwarding between matchers. He's currently looking at that. One thing we have noticed with the vast implementation is that I think the forwarding mechanism where you base so Shunyun, we spoke yesterday that if you have an ID of any of the node, you should be able to send a message to it. But we're not sure that's been implemented or it's working.
Okay.
And a part of the reason I'm saying that is because I mean the IDs are basically assigned incrementally. And usually in this, in like a overlay network, you've got, I mean, you would basically say, is my neighbor, whom of my neighbor's IDs is closest to the ID I want to send it to that one, and that way you forward it until it reaches the right one. But I think because the IDs are just assigned incrementally, it might not reach the right person or the right ID, if I put it like that. So that's maybe just something that we need to look in, so that you can that the Von layer can actually do the forwarding to an arbitrary node ID.
Okay. All right. So just to clarify, Herman, you're saying that because it's assigned incrementally, so you may not be able to. I didn't quite get that part.
So I'm basing what I'm saying on, for instance, what is that other DHT overlay?
Chord?
No, not chord.
CAN, Ken, or
no, there's the one before that actually.
Pastry.
Anyway, but pastry, yeah, pastry.
Okay.
That's the one. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
So there you've basically got a circular key space, if I remember correctly,
Right.
and then basically your neighbors in the key space their IDs are close to you. So if you wanted to forward to an arbitrary ID, basically by just.
Yes. Okay. I see your point. All right. Okay. So basically, I think what you're saying is the ID space for pastry actually is locationally relevant, right?
Yes, that's true.
So meaning that if you want to communicate with someone, just given the ID, you can probably locate it on the DHT. Okay, simply by doing some forwarding. And that what happened in, I think, log n times. Okay, because every time you sort of jump closer to the.
Yes, that's true.
But here, because our ID doesn't really have any kind of locational relevance.
Yes.
It's just, yes, as you said, it's incrementally assigned. So you cannot locate a node simply by its ID. That is true. Okay.
If you have its location, you would then be able to do the forwarding based on spatial information. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is something maybe to consider. Okay. So that we might need to consider that should be part of a node identity, right?
Yes, basically, yeah.
Right, as in terms of whether like it would be kind of like an ID location, and even potentially, IP and port combination, okay? Because that will be useful if you want to just directly connect and talk to that node, let's say over distance.
Yes.
Okay.
Except I think if
will
we have,
happen if let's say you are just trying to do a query of a node, and then
yes,
maybe part of the query request would contain, let's say the inquirer's, IP and port, so that once the destination is found, it can connect directly back without
Yes,
having to
yeah.
go over all the forwarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is something that, that probably will be needed. Okay. This is also for Victory to note. Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? When you have a forwarded request, at the end of that, you might want to have a shortcut to come back to the requesting node.
So
I
think I remember.
that part?
Yeah, no, I think I remember something like that. The idea was to make it such that in the requests being made, for example, there is sort of the spatial, like the IP address being sent in the request as well. Such that, for example, if you have a matcher communicating with a matcher, it doesn't have to go through the same path the request came from. It simply just establishes connection with the originating.
Right, exactly, right. And just to share a bit of the detail is that the network layer right now works such a way that when you send a connect request or API call, you connect to both you have to provide with the ID, the node ID, and also the IP port combination. Okay. So the network layer actually sort of records that.
okay, that's
You
good to
see,
know.
so later you can just refer by the node ID, which supposedly should be globally unique. Okay. And right now this is done by inquiring and getting the ID, get it assigned from the gateway matcher. Okay, so that's the first matcher. But I have to admit this may not be the best design. Okay. It works, for the time being, but obviously you like to have that more scalable or more decentralized. But basically ID assignment is something that more or less can be improved upon independently. Okay, with the rest of the mechanism. But right now, just for the network layer, the thing to note is that it takes an ID and also an IP port pair in order to sort of register, this information. And then later you can just send directly to the node ID. And you all know that, if there's a connection, you all send directly. If there's not, then you will try to establish a connection. Okay, so that's kind of, if I recall, that's how the network layer currently works. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So please continue, Victor.
All right. Okay, and also the MQTT library.
So I'll probably be only be able to say something about that on Friday.
Okay. All right, no, that's fine. I think with Shinyan, I think the next question is just the new developers part.
Right. Still waiting. I posted my linking as well now.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I think I reached out to maybe 2 other people I found on LinkedIn. One from India, I think another one from Joburg, but I've not received any response yet. I've not checked this morning, but I'm basically trying to also find new developers as well. Hopefully something catches. Okay, so with regards to the JS implementation, I was trying to play around. So the idea here is, which is still a work in progress. I was trying to read up on the code a little bit more. I'm trying to just to sort of test the basic components of the, you know, of the library itself. That's where I want. The idea was to sort of try to find, create, you know, gateway node, want to join a node, and I also want to test the leave implementation and to see how, you know, easy or simple it works. I remember I've tried this in the past, but at the time I was quite young and I didn't know what I was really doing. However, while doing this, there was some stuff that I sort of noticed. For example, I wasn't really sure what this meant in terms of what the client threshold is, what the sub, is this like the maximum number of,
Potentially just judging, I would say maybe how many clients a matcher can hold, I guess. But
Oh,
I
okay.
think you have to look, these two numbers don't click for me. Seems
Okay.
like it's command line. I mean, you're looking at Migros version, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So
So,
this is probably something he added.
okay. No, that's fine then. I did want to ask about the, sorry, the vast library, GitHub. So, this is like the basic implementation, right?
Right.
Right. But then like, is it that simple, or I feel like there's still a lot more that comes into this in terms of setting up the server and setting up the client, for example.
Right.
And also it looks like this is simply just a publish and subscribe test, and maybe
Right,
to
right.
leave and to join, but it's not necessarily like a test case or an
Mhm.
example, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Right. Oh, okay. Also, sorry, I think I wrote something down
It's
here.
probably not adequate documentation,
Okay.
to say the least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I noticed there were quite a few, there's quite a few things. I wanted to confirm that this was also accurate, that I'm seeing this right in terms of what the vast library is. The vast library has all of these components, from the documentation on the website: simulator, the network, and the protocol. And the idea is the network, that's the VON part, the Voronoi overlay part, and the protocol is the actual Voronoi, like partitioning and stuff like that, right? And the simulator is basically what we see, for example, in this in Miguel's vast implementation. Now so in theory it means this is what we don't really need this, right? This is these are the key components that are required for what we need to do from the forwarding perspective, right?
Okay, I would say that at the bottom of the stack is the network layer. Okay, that's
Okay.
actually the net component. And that is actually independent of how VON works, you see? Meaning
Okay.
that the network layer is designed such that it actually can be used for any other kinds of applications or protocols. Okay.
Okay.
It's not really like VON specific. And then there is the VON specific part. Okay, I would call that the overlay layer. Okay, and that contains the protocol. That's correct. Okay, so
Okay.
you can call it or consider it as the protocol part. But on top of VON, okay, in order to make spatial PubSub works, and actually on top of VON, there is another interface we checked yesterday. It's the vast library interface, right? And
Yeah.
that is actually a spatial PubSub interface.
Okay.
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 So actually, in order to realize both VON and also spatial PubSub, there has to be working protocol and packet formats. You see, message format and like packet formats, message format, and also protocols. So I would say, both the Vaughn layer and also the VAS PubSub layer, they all have a protocol component to it.
Okay.
Okay, and they might even, when sent over the network, the message might even have the same format, that as in there's a message type, and then, followed by like how many bytes is in the packet, and then the actual packet content. Okay, that kind of formatting actually, both Vaughn and the VAS part uses, you see?
Okay.
I don't know
So-
if that makes sense. Yeah,
It
right,
does.
yeah, right now, the diagram you have here is more, I think, closer to the, what actually.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yesterday when we were
Actually,
talking about adding the forwarding, the idea was to sort of add the forwarding on this layer then, and not necessarily the
Exactly,
vertical.
exactly, at the PubSub layer. So it would
Okay.
be still under the spatial PubSub interface, except
Okay.
that it's realized in a potentially, a more extended way with a forwarding capability.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So something
And
like
in
that.
essence and or in effect, what it does or what that means is that you will be able to publish or subscribe to a much larger area or even arbitrary areas, okay, than maybe what currently supports.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
was the greedy forwarding, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because right now, if you just subscribe, probably you can only subscribe to, just like a circular area near yourself. And, and if you subscribe, how that will actually work is that it will try to connect with all the nodes in that area. So it's not very efficient if you have a large areas or, and I don't think any like queries supported.
Okay. So then it means to a certain extent, this is sort of perfect then. I don't think if we're making any changes to this one layer, it's probably just like formatting, for example, and but I think, I mean, from what I read from your master's thesis, it looks like it's at a sort of optimized state.
I would say that probably little change is needed for the Vaughn layer. And I think it might be a good idea to just leave that part unless absolutely necessary. Okay. Because it's already working, for
Yes.
a distributed peer-to-peer overlay.
Yeah.
So probably to decrease the complexity of adding things or modifying things, unless we find that it's not working. Otherwise, yeah. All right, go ahead. All right.
Yeah, so I seem to, I think the one in the dev branch might not be working correctly, but if you go to the master branch, then it will, then I have already tested, you can have a gateway starting up and multiple nodes join, and that works correctly. And I'll post in VastVerse just the commands that you can use to, because because if you, when you start the gateway, Victory, you basically just run what do you call it, node test vonpeer.js, that starts the gateway. But then when you start the other nodes, then you need to start it and you need to give the IP and port of the gateway as command line parameters. And if you don't do that, then it doesn't start correctly. But apart from that, the vonpeers, that works correctly. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, interesting. All right. I didn't know that.
Okay, so
All right.
Victor, maybe you can start the assignments for
Yes,
today.
sorry.
Yeah.
Just do that quickly. All right. So for Vic, continue with as the JS implementation. I don't know. Alida, do you want us to have like a check-in session today or tomorrow?
Maybe
better?
tomorrow. I think
Tomorrow.
tomorrow would be better, yes.
Okay. You want to schedule the meeting or? Okay.
I'll do that
Yeah.
now.
Oh, thanks. I'll do. Yeah, Professor Herman wants to add. Did you say you add documentation, right?
No, what?
Not documentation. Sorry, you said you were gonna post something on the
I'm
GitHub page.
gonna post something in not in GitHub, in the Slack channel.
In Slack. Okay. And
Yeah.
link. Um, for best. Okay. And also I think the other one is for Friday. QTT. Is there three checking. What else? Oh, there. Let's see. What else? I still need to sort of work on this part, this cases. Wenha wants to clean up chat application. Oh, I think I forgot to ask Wenha if there's anything on documentation.
Oh, I have finished the documentation. I can send it to you.
Okay. Oh, please. All right.
Can maybe share it in the Slack channel.
Like,
I mean,
yeah. Slack. Precision is more like new developers adventure.
well, look for developers.
Look for developers. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Bullet. And I think make that blue. All right, that's blue. Yeah, I don't know if I missed anything. Nice.
Okay, so I guess one question is, what might be the thing for Alida to work on as a next step?
From what we discussed last week, I think the key part was to sort of identify, to play around with the PubSub implementation, right? And to sort of compare notes. I don't know if you actually saw the email. Just not check my email yet. Sorry. But I don't know if Alida got the email. I did share the email, and
I did.
I hope it was easy to read. I'm terrible at sharing notes. My notes are always like
No,
chaotic.
it mostly made sense.
Okay. So to just sort of compare that and to see how it sort of aligns with what you're doing. And then maybe when we meet tomorrow, we can then discuss like a way forward from a development perspective.
Perfect.
Okay, all right. So the I would imagine probably the overlap place is on the special PubSub implementation part.
Exactly, yeah.
So that might potentially involve also the forwarding mechanism, and also additional protocols. So yeah, I think this is I suggest that's like the main topic to discuss about. Okay, during your sync.
Yeah, I can start thinking of the create a timeline for development. So
Yeah,
the
that's
idea
would be a
behind
good
this,
idea.
yeah. So at least we can have an idea of what needs to be done, and then to do lists sort of thing. All right. Should I make this blue? Make it blue for safety. All right. So did I miss anything?
Okay, that looks good.
15.
All right, so
right.
we'll sync on tomorrow then, Thursday, right?
Tomorrow.
And
Yes.
well, Alida, will you guys?
Yes.
well, you guys will be having conversation Thursday.
Yes.
So okay, I see. All right. So maybe.
But I'll
by-
be,
Go ahead.
All right.
Well,
sorry.
Okay. I mean, but tomorrow sync, right? You'll be joining.
Yes.
for tomorrow. Okay. All right. So talk to you guys tomorrow then. All right. See you
Oh,
again tomorrow.
thanks
All right,
again.
Okay. Have a great
Thanks,
day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Alida.
You
Thank
too.
you, anyhow.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.